Alright, this is Dan from Plan to Hike. Today what I want to go over are two pairs of popular hiking shoes, both of which that I've used, and kind of go through the review of what I think about them. So the two pairs that we have today are the Altra Lone Peak 7s. Very popular shoe. All you gotta do is hike just about anywhere and you're going to see people wearing these shoes. The second pair of shoes I have are the Brooks Cascadia 17. So this is the newest version of the Brooks Cascadia trail shoe. Both very popular shoes. Both of them cost somewhere between $130 and $150, and they're both great trail shoes. I think probably from a recognition standpoint, the Ultras have probably the best kind of recognition from a name standpoint, but I do want to kind of go over my experience with both of these shoes. So I wear a size 15, so I have big feet because I'm a big guy, and you can get both of these shoes in a size 15. So if you have larger than normal feet, you have the option to get both of these shoes in large sizes. And then the Brooks Cascadia in particular, I got the wide version just to allow my feet to spread out. One of the things that I like a lot about the Ultra, they're super comfortable from the first time you put your feet in them. And most shoe manufacturers will tell you that the best shoe for you is the one that is comfortable the minute you put them on. Your shoes shouldn't have to break in, and if they're uncomfortable on your feet when you first put them on, you probably should start looking for a different pair. What I like about the Lone Peaks is the very large toe box. You have lots of room on the inside. The shoe fits really well. It's got a great outer sole. And this is a zero drop shoe, so meaning that the heel to the forefoot is the same. It has an integrated gaiter that comes with it. So this is actually made by Altra, and it clips into this first loop of the lace, and then it has an integrated place for it to come in the back. And this is one of the things that I really like about the Ultras. Simply because it's a nice system that fits, and it keeps all of the dirt and the sand and just about everything else out of your socks. These shoes, I put 330 miles on them, and they are a little bit worse for the wear. Now I'm heavy, right? So I'm 6'9", 6'9 and a half. I weigh 235 pounds, and so that's a lot of weight to put on a shoe. And then if you add on to that my pack weight, which is with food and water, somewhere around 30 pounds, 28 to 30 pounds with some of the recent upgrades that I've done. That's a lot of weight to put on these shoes mile after mile. What I found after 300 miles is that there's starting to be some issues around the toe. So the edge right around the toe is starting to kind of come apart, and the sole is worn pretty good. They say that you can get 500 miles out of these shoes. I would be doubtful to have that same kind of wear pattern. And I'm an abnormal person because of the size. You don't see a lot of hikers my size that are doing the kind of hiking that I'm doing. But it was kind of disconcerting because at $150 a pair, they were seemingly starting to wear out a little bit early. They do have a rock plate, but it's small, and that's probably my biggest issue with these shoes, is that after all the time that I spent on the Appalachian Trail with these shoes, I did find that my feet did have some bruising as some of the sharp rocks in the Shenandoah get underneath your foot, and everything's pointy, so it's not round, and so you have a lot of poking force into the shoe. And I did find that my feet had a tendency to be more tender after wearing these shoes. So after I came off my last section hike, I decided I wanted to try a different pair. I tried the New Balance Hero 7s, and they were just too narrow for my feet. I wore them on a couple hikes and then I returned them. And then I exchanged, and then I went to the Brooks Cascadia 17. These come in a bunch of different colors. They only really come in one color if you're getting the 15 wide, so you're kind of stuck with this. But what I like about these shoes have got about 70 miles on them right now. I just did the Presidential Traverse in these shoes. The rock plate on this extends through the entire foot. And one of the things that is nice about these shoes is that protection offers quite a bit of cushion for your foot, especially in rocky terrain. So if you're going to be around a lot of rocks, I would seriously take a look at the Brooks, simply because that rock plate I think is better than what they put in the Ultras. These shoes also were super comfortable. As soon as I put them on, I had no complaints. There's plenty of width across the foot. This feels good around your ankle, and the shoe is nice and tight along, so there's not a lot of sliding back and forth, especially on the downhills, as long as you have it laced right. One of the things that I guess is a disadvantage to this shoe is that I have to use, Brooks doesn't make a gaiter specifically for this shoe, so I use a set of REI gaiters that go on. You know, you have the front clip that clips over the lace, and then these slide over the back. Now, to be fair, the Brooks shoe does have a tab to put gaiters on the back. I just haven't found one that works with it. And it appears like they have an extra loop right on the tongue right here for the gaiter to clip into instead of clipping on the lace. But I always put mine on the front lace. And it seems to work well. I hike with gaiters all the time because I don't like stuff getting down in my socks and getting down in your feet, since your feet are probably one of the most important things while you're hiking, aside from your shelter system and your clothes, because it's what's going to keep you going. So I am really happy with the Brooks Cascadia. The sole has got a different lug pattern on it than the Brooks do, but I found that this has extremely good traction. I have found that this has great traction on wet surfaces. A lot of my hike in the Presidentials was on wet rocks, and I never felt like I was gonna slip or slide or anything else. I was very happy with how these kept me moving and my feet and my footing secure. So it'll be interesting to see how these hold up. So like I said, I've got about 70 miles on them. They don't show any wear or damage. They're just dirty right now. So I got some other hikes planned for this year. So we should be able to get the mileage up to about the same as where the Ultras are, and we'll see how they do. Now, for those of you weight people, they talk about, one of the reasons why trail runners are so important from a hiking standpoint is because of the weight. The less weight you have on your feet, the easier it is to move your legs, meaning that if you're adding weight to your actual feet, it's just more weight consistently that you have to move. And so, if you consider how heavy hiking boots are, if we want to look at just what I just have a basic digital scale, and we'll put these on ounces, and these again are size 15s, and they're dirty. So the Ultra weighs 13 ounces. And the Brooks comes in right at 15. So they are a couple ounces heavier than the Ultras. So if that's something that you're super concerned about, that's a consideration and a factor. These have a 4mm drop from the toe to the forefoot, so your heel is a little bit higher. And there's quite a bit more sole than there is on the Ultra. But they both give you the same ground feel. One of the complaints I had with the Fresh Foam Heroes from New Balance is that there was so much cushion that you didn't really have good ground feel. And I think that's really important while you're hiking, to be able to feel how your foot is. And I think what that does is it gives you the opportunity to not be impacted so much by ankle turns and things like that. If you're feeling the ground as you're walking, I feel like you have a better chance of compensating for uneven terrain, or perhaps a rock that, if you're wearing a boot that's got a lot of protection, you may not kind of feel that same connection to the ground, which could lead toward some ankle injuries. So all in all, they're both great shoes. I have some durability issues with the Ultras. I feel like their rock plate is not as good as it could be. I'm happy with the Brooks Cascadia, and I love the sole and the rock plate. And we'll see how their durability holds up over the rest of this hiking season. The one downgrade I give to them is that they don't have their own gaiter system. And while that may be something small, when you're out for long periods of time, you don't want stuff getting in your feet, and having a good set of gaiters for your trail runners, I think, is really important. So I hope you guys got something out of it. This is Dan from Plan to Hike. We do a lot of hiking in particular, but we're going to start doing more gear reviews. This is a young channel, so if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, ask a question, and please consider subscribing. And we'll see you on the next video.